Yeah. Well, it was the first time. Not been before, and Brian is Canadian, so he went home to Canada. So we talked after the show, and she said, yes, absolutely. And I know he's sort of he married Brian Bevan, and he's gonna take some people like 3/4 time. So he said, would you come over and do it? She said, anywhere you like. I explained, you know, so we don't concentrate anything, they don't care. This one said, I'm Brett. And we didn't have this common touch, so. Yeah. So that.
But we don't want to sit.
So they were roughly 10 people. It's all right. Great.
That sounds sick.
Hello, Moselle.
Hello, Marcel. Did your daughter tell you? No, let's see that. Okay, well, raise it right up here. Thank you. Your seat is saved for you. Right in the front. Was it good?
You sit all next to the speakers.
Oh, if you want to join.
This is my first time actually.
She's totally Baroque.
This might be this author.
So when they close, Connie takes that altar. Then the celebrant's chair, the bishop's chair, and then Heidi Jones with these customers. She'll do what they're doing, work on the side. And then the and a small. Yeah, and I've got the Zoom going here. Maybe I ought to put the Zoom. And then she's got this little tiny.
Well, I think right there is good.
So we all see her.
Good, is that?
This is great to learn. I mean, we kind of got here and did and then.
Oh, this is your first time here.
Yes.
Oh, good. Here comes Emma. Hello there. Thank you. And we've got not much to do there. She goes out tonight. She goes out black. I have. Oh, yeah. She tired.
Be sure.
Well, yeah.
Hello. I've heard a lot about you. I've heard a lot about this. It's a nice church, yeah. Yes, 1904.
Yeah, hi.
Like your glasses?
Oh, thanks. Oh, which glasses I have? Oh, my reading glasses. Oh, thank you. Here, I'm glad I was able to get to my head. Okay. So, very I was there. I wanted to. Okay. Well, everything just got home. I was here for church at 2 first, and then a commissioner wanted to walk afterwards. So we sat in the summer. Yeah, you'll have the brother over. 4:30. Got it. Oh, no.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
See, this one part of this for you.
Yes.
I know this.
Very
Yeah.
Was on the radio. And he was asking the North, she said,
I am so sorry.
Yeah.
I love this. It's a man one.
Well, this is. You come into town, there's the welcome to.
Yes, right.
And then there's.
Yes.
Beside that is an.
Right.
That like that. Baptized in worship. No irrigation.
Oh, yeah. Everybody would have that experience. But even then, some parents can go.
Yeah, I would say it's about 2 miles.
So it's going toward Logan.
Yes.
Okay, west.
It doesn't go west, it goes south.
You're right. Okay.
And there's a lot of extra trees. It's been there since the 80s. And it's are very. Cemetery this far. And they're
And you hear something in original.
It's made to
share
four
sections.
That's one of the. So
I didn't know where it is.
And I don't know what that means. It was the rest of the fast. It's very.
Must be mighty smart. Is everybody comfortable?
It's still you.
I never think about it. See the ones.
Thank you.
So this is the end of your tour, Carrie.
It is. This is the very last one.
How's it been?
Bittersweet. Oh, it's been amazing. It's been so fun and such a journey. I'm somewhat happy that the last church we're playing in has plumbing. The first 4 churches that we did on this tour didn't have any plumbing. No water to speak of. So
Wow. We only have cold water,
I noticed.
but it works.
Yeah.
And we have one light switch in the whole that runs all the electricity. So would you like a little more fan?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's better for the sound actually without fan. So maybe
Okay.
if we kept this door open
I think
and it had some nice airflow, I think that
Yeah,
would
leave
make
it
for the
open.
best,
Okay, good.
best sound.
Okay, and we've had someone from the congregation has joined us. Is that you, Melissa? She's on a phone, so I think it's either her grandson or her. But yeah, she's not ventured out yet. And this was a way for her.
Yeah, that's great. Are you good with giving an introduction?
I'm
It's
wonderful.
me, Connie.
Hi, John. I'm so glad you're with us.
Yes, Melissa should be coming.
Oh, that's his grandmother. You should not call her Melissa. It's grandma, right?
Well, yeah, but when I think of grandma, I think of my racist Trump supporting grandma that I do not like. So that's why.
Oh, okay. Thank you, John. So Melissa, it is then, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, we have about 3 more minutes. He's only 16. He'll
No,
see.
I'm 17.
Oh my gosh, John, I'm so sorry.
There.
Yes,
Can you make sure she has her mic off? when
Whose
the concert
mic?
starts?
yes.
No, she needs to turn it off on her end.
I'm turning my mic off.
Okay.
Oh, wait. So I don't want to mute, but John, would you mute yourself, please? I want to make sure you, oh, he's muted now. All right. Are you ready?
Sure. I mean, I don't mind hanging out a little bit longer.
Okay.
See what time is it?
It
Oh, yeah.
is, the clock's right back there if you want to take a look at it. It's 2 minutes to 7. Does anybody need to, because it's right back here and you'd have to walk past the performer if you need to. Okay. You can go around, that's right. And we have got cold water if you need something to drink.
Nice. I've been sucking it down.
Okay, good. We had a group contact us not very long ago that wanted to know if they could do it was a band, a Western hillbilly kind of type band. And I said to him, I just don't think you'll have enough room in the front of the church. And so I don't think they've decided to use the church. But
Oh,
we're delighted that you're here.
well, this is perfect size. Great for one fiddle.
For one fiddle, yeah, one little organ, one little fiddle, and one little piano.
Yeah, 2 organs. I love that.
That harmonium, I don't know if it's in tune with that one. Yes,
Cool.
the faster you pump, the louder it gets.
Ah.
It's really a sweat worker.
Keep it shaped like an old fashioned exercise machine.
Yeah, that's right. It's like an old fashioned exercise machine. Hello, kitty. You might have a little visitor.
Oh, there's a big giant dog out front.
Well, welcome to Gethsemane Episcopal Church. We are delighted tonight on this historic church's Bach Roads of Montana to have with us the concert mistress. Did the cat come in? Okay. The concert mistress of the Bozeman Symphony, the one and only Carrie Krause. Shall we give her a big welcome?
Honey, are you okay with telling us a little bit about the history of the church? I don't want to put you on the
Oh,
spot.
not at all. Clark is here too. He can help fill in, but what you see here, this is the original building with the original stained glass, original pews except for these 2. And it was built in 1904. Bishop Tuttle, actually, there's a key on display. Oh, it's back there. You see the little thing that's got the key in it up above? That's the key that he used to carry around. He was the first bishop in the diocese. And yes, lots of stories about him, but this church has been serviced now for over 120 years by rectors from Bozeman, usually. I don't think it's ever had its own pastor, but
I don't think so.
yeah, the church has been through lots of, we added a bathroom long ago, but still. And we're adding a handicap ramp now, so that's really wonderful. And we added this organ about 3 years ago, which is a Dutch organ, a Van Dalen organ that's a tracker. And you can see by the fact that the pedals are flat, not curved like some, so it's a practice organ, and it's just right for this space. And yeah.
And did the kind of looks like the town just sort of grew around the church.
Right, it's probably the oldest church in town, except for maybe there's a lot of Dutch Reform out here. But the mother church of the Dutch Reform is in Amsterdam, and Manhattan here was originally called another town. I can't remember the name of it, but it took the name Manhattan because it raises seed potatoes. And so they said the people would deliver on the train from New York and allow them to use the name Manhattan if they could buy their potatoes.
Huh.
Kind of, I might have that story a little off, Clark.
Sounds good to me.
Does it sound good? And so actually, there's a seed potato festival here every year. It's the main event, and thousands of people come because we grow the seed potatoes for most of the United States. Right here.
Tater pigs,
Yeah.
which I can't describe.
Okay, but they're good, huh?
Please do describe if this is a food delicacy.
Tater pigs?
Yeah.
Oh, tater pigs are, you grill out the potato, and put the sausage in, right? And the corn rustlers use that at Sweet Pea for a big fundraiser. So if you have not had a tater pig, you must have one.
Okay, I have it. So you
You're
bake the
really
potato
not a postman if you haven't had a tater pig.
first. Delicacy. You bake the potato.
And they're actually pretty good.
You bake the potato first.
Well, yeah, I think they do. And then
Yeah.
they put the sausage in. They drill it out, put the sausage in.
They put
I think we're deviating here a little. Let's have music.
Thank you, Connie, that was perfect. So as she mentioned, we're on this historic churches tour. This is number 8 of 8 over the course of 4 days. And the premise of it is to draw attention to these at least century-old churches in rural settings. And truth be told, it's great fun as musicians to play in a really small space. I'm playing on a historical instrument and it works best in this kind of very intimate setting. We are archiving the acoustic of each of these churches, creating a record of the sound, as well as photographing the inside, and we'll make that available on our website so that anybody can look and see what these different churches sound like and look like inside. And who knows, it might inspire more musicians to play concerts in these churches. That's the hope. So it's been an amazing journey, and we are taking an extraordinary set of pieces around on this tour. Bach wrote 6 pieces for solo violin, for violin alone, called the Sonatas and Partitas. And they are massive. It's a massive collection. And so it's quite an undertaking to study them. And it's a lifetime of work, basically, into the moment of playing all of these. And I will be playing all of them over 2 days in Bozeman, which is listed in the program in mid-June. I'm not going to play all of them tonight because we would be here until after 10 p.m. It's over 3 hours of music for solo violin, so it's very demanding. But I will be playing 2 this evening. I'm going to start off with the G minor fugue, G minor sonata, which is the very first one. And then we'll take a short break and come back with the partita in D minor. Bach did not shy away from challenge. He sought out challenge. He liked to compose in complete canons. So when he went to write a piece for the new instrument, the cello, he wrote not 1, but 6 suites for the cello that changed the way that instrument had ever been used. And no one performed them until Pablo Casals in the 50s. He wrote, when he set out to write some pieces for very collection of instruments, interesting different instruments playing together. He wrote not one, but 6 Brandenburg concertos. The well-tempered clavier goes through all the keys. So he liked to write in these complete works. And the set of 6 for the violin, they use the violin in ways that the instrument had never been used before. And they were thought not to be concert pieces and not even really playable until somewhat recently. There were sort of technical exercises that you might try to do to improve your technique, but they are wonderful pieces of music. Bach was known principally as a keyboard player, but he was also a violinist, and his first job actually was as concertmaster in Weimar. So he was a very fine and accomplished violinist. And he had rumored to have had a really nice violin too. So this first sonata follows the pattern of all of the sonatas in this collection, that it starts out with a prelude. And that was very typical of the time. If the composer didn't write you a prelude, as a performer, you would usually improvise one. That was very typical of the time, and anyone who studies this style studies the art of preluding, which I do when I have some extra time, which is not right now. But I've been enjoying playing these preludes of Bach, which is far beyond anything that I could invent myself. And it establishes the key. So our key is G minor, which is dark. And it takes you to the related keys. And in the next movement, the fugue, he visits all of those same keys in that order. So the prelude kind of gives you a hint of where you're headed on this journey ahead. I think there's different parts of composing. There's like the conceptualization of sort of the architecture, the map of what you're going to do, the planning out of the structure, getting that down on paper. And then there's the part that's the elaboration. And most composers at this time didn't write that part down. They left that part up to the performer in the moment to create their own ornaments and decorate it. But Bach decorates things extensively. He writes all of the improvisation down, which is partly why his music works so well today. You have performers that are not trained in that tradition of making things up. Classical musicians are less inventive today. They tend to obsess about the notes on the page. But Bach gives us those notes. In the next movement, we get into the fugue, and a fugue is a very, very strict compositional form, and Bach was the absolute master of this form of all time. And a fugue is composed of a subject, which in this case is simple enough. But then he takes it and he writes it in all different voices. You hear it lower, you hear it higher. And it's overlapped with a counter subject, which accompanies it. And it's interesting to trace how that fugue subject is manipulated and chopped up into bits, and just all of the inventive things that he does with it. And it's interspersed with sections called episodes, which are more sequential and just running notes and a bit of a break from that very complex puzzle piecing. And then after that, we get a breather with the third movement, which is a Sicilian, which refers to rhythmic motive. Sicilian rhythm is Amsterdam. That's how you teach kids that rhythm with Amsterdam. And then the last movement is a presto, which is just a flurry of fast notes, and it's great fun and carries us right into the end. So if any of you have any questions at any point, please don't hesitate to speak up. It's so nice for this to be a conversation. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
You want the fans
I
off?
don't mind, I think we'd enjoy it.
I'd rather have doors open. Natural sounds.
This door is it.
Yeah, I don't mind doing that.
Okay, I shut it because of the cars. Pardon me. People might want to.
Yeah, they might. Do you take any questions?
Yes, please.
I would just love to know what is going through your mind when you're playing that, because to watch your face is absolutely incredible. And I always wonder about musicians when they're really in, especially string. But can you just tell me? I mean,
Yeah, so many things.
so many things.
Yeah, and it's a real act of discovery to figure out where to put your mind. Because you pack in the piece in so many different ways, practicing it, playing it in tune, playing it in rhythm, all of the shaping ideas. You go through so many layers. And then you have to trust in the performance that is there. And that will allow you to be free. So musicians are always grappling with trying to have maximum control and maximum freedom at the same time. And then with Bach, he was so spiritual. Everything about this music is a prayer. You know,
Yes,
it's a
that's right.
conversation trying to answer the unanswerable questions. You know, grief, hope, God,
Everything, yeah.
yeah. And so the performer can easily get in the way of that, you know, and to play it too romantically with too much emotion, too many turns in the row. That's what I want to do, because I want to be emotionally invested in this. I need this music. Like, I need to work out my stuff, you know, through playing this. But you also can't, you know, you can't be crying yourself. You have to let the music speak. So it's always that
I can see why it's being considered unplayable. That the next to the last movement seemed exceedingly difficult with the highs and lows and lots of big chords in it. I almost felt like that should be played on a harpsichord.
Right. Yes, it's keyboard writing, really. Yeah. And they have to do it on this animal. Yeah.
Can you show what your music looks like? Because
Oh,
it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, so I'm playing on I'm playing off of Bob's handwriting when I was talking about him filling all the detail in. This is, so it's actually his handwriting that I'm playing off of, and like, these are the pillars, the chords. And then it's all of the noodles. And it's very fluid looking.
Yeah.
It really has a lot of shape to it. So it's a very different experience to play it on a clean, computer generated, copy where everything's evened out. Yeah.
But you go with the authentic.
Yes.
Just like you play in the historic,
Yeah.
on the historic instrument, you go with the authentic writing.
Yeah, you go with the manuscript, the instrument, and you try to get into the mind and the place of the composer. Yeah. Otherwise, it's kind of hard to know what to do with it. He gives you a lot of notes, but not a lot of, musical stuff.
Well, making that one movement musical must have been very difficult, because it just seems in some ways disconnected, because you're having to roll those chords. And I realized, on the organ or the piano, Bach is very difficult anyway. And he didn't just do one line of music for a stringed instrument.
Right.
He really incorporated all that counter melody.
Yes, the counterpoint.
That, yeah, I salute you.
Oh, thank you.
At least I have my feet to work with. I just have 2 hands.
Exactly. Yeah. It is a serious challenge. Yeah.
Would you like some water?
Oh, yeah, we'll just take a
Take a little break
Yeah.
here.
I'm gonna put your water at the end.
This the side
Um,
that
Can I pour it in for you? I used to have one.
Oh, you did?
Wow, that's wonderful thing.
Thomas, could you hand me that?
Oh, that one might be hard. That's
What's your-
Here's what. Yeah, that's for me.
It's like well, it's very, it's quite spiritual. And the music is miraculous. I would much rather watch you play than listen to it. Yes, yeah. Remember in 6th grade, when I tried to learn how to play cello? Short-lived. I then discovered the trombone. I made it past the Irish. That was about. Didn't work well with the legs. Kansas for this was in Manhattan. So did I. I went to Georgia. Wow.
Sure.
Never did. She's not that, she's not that old. She's not that old.
I was there with Fred. My dad, yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
It was, I loved it.
That was so funny too, man.
I was there before, it was the old man and Jim. Those were the best fire.
Oh, yes, she is.
I was my first.
My husband, Chris Daddy,
And it's the epistle.
in charge of the night watch.
Well, we love that.
Big timber, I'm down there today, and it's 125 years old, and it is all in that. And they said, how come this every day?
Oh, there you go. There's the answers.
And they don't have learning, they don't have.
It's for sound use.
And all
In
the
the music club?
The last
and
one.
all in the library. And all the.
But even this little bit of information,
Sure, I was the same.
Like they did that.
Studying it
Because they were.
for a concert. So
They're like,
those.
it's old.
Anyways, I know.
And the man who set it on fire eventually was.
Kristen.
There's an aura, yeah. And so anyway, think about this. It's a crowd, like the water down, top trail.
Well, it's a small world.
A super small world.
It's darling.
Well, it's something you do. One of the things that I learned through postdocs, the passion in the congregations. So, you know, the music and religious organizations are long. And then Mitch, like
Don is John plays in the car.
I've seen you on films.
In fact, I heard the story. I thought she was playing harpsichord. And then Rich
Here's that sound.
is that you're playing the guitar.
Yeah, yeah.
Sounds very much
So we got China. We just got China. Well, can we get China? We get China. We got China. So we can break, so it should be. Oh, no. Well, there, Austin Shake Bells with Caroline. Oh, is she from the library?
It places everyone.
Well, welcome back to the very last piece of this long tour. I will be playing the partita in D minor. And the partita in D minor is composed of a set of dances. Partita means it's a collection of dances equivalent to suite, if you're familiar with that term. And there was a very standard organization of these dances at that time. The standard Baroque dance suite had 4 movements, Allemand, slow and serious, German, Courant, which is a running dance. The first beat kind of launches the dancer off. Moving, that's in 3/4 time, courant, and then we get a saraband, which is noble, and the step is 1, 2, 3. So that second beat has movement. And then you get a jig, which we all know what a jig is, right? And this is a really great dance suite that Bach writes, and it's dance movements, by the way, are in binary form, like an A section and then a B section. And the A section cadences in a related key. So in D minor, fifth above that would be A. So it usually takes you to A, and then you have this sense that you are not home, and you have to wind your way through the B section to get back to your cadence. So you're always on a journey. And it's very inventive and a really excellent Baroque dance suite. Could be done. Should be done. Right. But then Bach gives us, after this, the chaconne. And the Bach chaconne, many classical musicians will say, is the greatest piece of music ever written. A chaconne is a set of chord progressions, which is repeated. And Bach repeats it 64 times. It is massive. That chord progression is. That chord progression is kind of like the 12-bar blues. Like musicians knew it, they could just improvise over it. But Bach writes this one down. And 64 times, it's big. It's organized into 3 sections: minor, major, finally, and then it takes you back to minor. And it's in the 3 parts is very significant, right? For Bach, with the Trinity. 6
Today's Trinity Sunday, you know.
3 sonatas, 3 partitas in this collection, 6 cello suites, 6 Brandenburg concertos, the 12 keys. You know, he loved numbers, and everything is very architecturally planned out and coded. The golden ratio in Bach, always there's something amazing that happens at the moment of the golden ratio. If you take the total number of measures in the piece and find it. So many secrets. Good thing I have a lifetime to live with them and keep finding them every time I play this music.
Massage that one, didn't he? All those variations of, I wish I started counting.
That's some hefty music for a lovely summer evening, so appreciate you being up for some raw meat and potatoes.
Thank you, Carrie.
It was, thank you, Carrie. That was fantastic.
Our amazing crew, Thomas and Ben of Rosenheart Slide.
I see you've got some new microphones here. Well, thanks for thinking of us. We really Oh, it was glorious. Wonderful. Glad you do this.
I was thinking it was you, but I'm tired.
knowing.
You do, yeah, wow. So you grew up in Manhattan? How are you doing? I'm well. Are you, are you at all interested in playing viola at the Second Street? Yeah.
I had it, but I will. I'll put that back in my idea thing.
Jesse does viola since like Elizabeth. Tammy and
Oh, is it the same?
yeah, there might be a few new ones. Viola? Oh, and there's that, and of course, right. So he's not in second choice. Yeah, he's just playing out.
He had moved on to other things.
Yes, I think I'm because you really like, yeah, I think that was
You are amazing.
oh, thank you.
And you're